Within the intricate maze of world mythologies, a captivating and recurring motif stands out: the existence of beings who feast on humans. This theme, crossing cultural lines, acts as a somber reflection of the human mind's depth. It encompasses a range from the insatiable deities of Greek myths to the eerie Wendigo of Native American folklore, each narrative interweaving a rich tapestry of meanings that touch upon our inherent fears and the unspoken rules of society. These mythical entities are more than just embodiments of terror. They represent profound elements of the human condition, including the infinite hunger for power, the corruption of humanity, and the fine line separating civilization from raw brutality, the contrast between the humane and the monstrous. Guillermo del Toro is one of the most unique filmmakers in this world, renowned for his imaginative and symbolic monsters that often embody deep psychological and cultural themes, blending horror with fairy tale-like fantasy. The Pale Man from his 2006 film Pan's Labyrinth serves as a secondary yet formidable antagonist, a grotesque and terrifying creature with no sockets for his eyes on his face, as they would instead be stuffed into the palm of his hand to see. Guarding a lavish feast, he remains motionless until Ophelia, our protagonist, against the instruction, takes 2 grapes from the table. This act of disobedience awakens the Pale Man, furiously eats 2 of the fairies Ophelia brought as guides, and pursues her through the hallway, which she barely escapes. It's very apparent that Ophelia is not the first child to stumble upon the Pale Man's lair, as we see piles of children's shoes and numerous paintings on the walls and ceilings showing the demon devouring children. Del Toro mentioned that one of the Pale Man's influences is Saturn devouring his son by Francisco Goya, drawing on the painting's metaphor for the dark aspects of human nature and disillusionment with societal turmoil. This inspiration connects deeply with the themes of Pan's Labyrinth, particularly the brutalities of war and the breakdown of rationality and order. Del Toro himself has indicated that the Pale Man embodies the greed and violence of fascism, personified by Captain Vidal, Francisco Franco, and the Spanish Catholic Church. This allegory is visually emphasized through scenes where these characters indulge in opulent meals, mirroring the Pale Man's own banquet. Given the position of both the captain and the Pale Man sitting at the head of a feast no one can touch, this parallel serves to critique the voracious nature of fascist regimes in Spain, highlighting their corruption, resource hoarding, and the brutal suppression of those who challenge their authority. Guillermo del Toro's interpretation of the Pale Man thus becomes a powerful symbol, reflecting not just the horrors of the Spanish Civil War, but also representing all institutional evil feeding on the helpless. For the initial design, Del Toro has one specific instruction for his art directors: to sculpt an old man that lost a significant amount of weight, implying a history to this monster that he was once obese, but not anymore. Under the skin of this distorted creature is a system that has long since declined from its prime, decaying into a barely mobile entity that aggressively attacks anyone it regards as an intruder. Unlike the Pale Man's literal devouring, the method of consumption by Laura in the movie Under the Skin is more abstract and symbolic, reflecting a non-physical, existential hunger, yearning to understand what it means to be human. In contrast to traditional, historical, and mythological monsters found in Guillermo del Toro's film, Jonathan Glazer presents a unique approach to exploring humanity from an alien perspective, focusing on themes of alienation and identity. Released in 2013, the film follows an extraterrestrial being featured by Scarlett Johansson, disguising itself in a human female skin, roaming the streets of Scotland, luring unsuspecting men into a void where they are nothing more than meat. A notable aspect of Under the Skin is its filming technique. Much of it was shot using hidden cameras integrated into the dashboard of her car or concealed in street fixtures. This method captures authentic interactions with non-professional actors, enhancing the film's realism. By recording actual men being chatted up by an unknown beautiful woman and following her into the van, we are seeing a more genuine response. Real men, and they really are tempted. The only thing remains is the skin and hair, with the red substance being carried away by a conveyor belt. It then drains through a trough. The human flesh is intended for alien consumption. Throughout her mission, the alien slowly transitions out of an objective, emotionless, inhuman being and begins to embrace and learn about her female human form. But it is because of this human emotions and desire, she eventually demise at the hands of a man who epitomizes the loss of humanity. The film thus presents a paradox. An alien, drawn to the allure of human virtues and aspiring to humanity, is ultimately destroyed by humans who have strayed from their own humaneness. Under the Skin transcends the traditional boundaries of horror, portraying the female lead as both the seducer and the innocent, the predator and the victim.